Can you share with us actually what kind of day is it today?
It is one of my favorite days. It is National Coming Out Day. So, National Coming Out Day is a day where lesbian, gay, bisexual, pansexual, transgender, queer, asexual, there's a lot of different people who fit in sort of that umbrella. But today is a day where we celebrate coming out, letting people and the world know that we are here, that we are proud of who we are, that we exist, that we matter.
Can we celebrate along?
Absolutely. It is always great for allies to celebrate along. It is so important for allies to celebrate because it's important for people to be allies. My wife likes to say that ally is a verb. And so it means that you have to constantly be doing something and doing action. And so, yes, like it is very important for you to act and celebrate with us, and especially for the church to celebrate.
And this church has been very much supportive of LGBTQ issues from now decades and decades.
Yeah.
And that's marvelous to celebrate. And if I may here put something of my own.
Please.
Not necessarily in a matter of orientation, but I personally know how liberating it is to live in truth.
Yes.
Here I'm quoting from Václav Havel, my first democratic president, who wrote his essay, The Power of Powerless, and inside has that concept of living in truth. And I must say that I highly appreciate, how liberating it can be. And so I think that is something to be celebrated. Whether it is living in truth politically or living in truth in respect of gender and self-identification, because that is the most problematic thing when people are living in lie.
Yeah.
And that could be abused by regimes and ideologies, while when you live in truth, you know who you are. That's that existential dimension of truth. And you can share it, you can be open about it, and then it had many more consequences, like moral consequence. You can invite other people to live in that truth.
Exactly. One of the great things about National Coming Out Day is that it highlights those of us who are able to be out, which in turn helps make the world a little bit better and a little bit safer for those who aren't able to be out, who are scared, who are potentially facing consequences with their family, with their friends, who might be arrested or politically damaged or physically violated in some way over this.
And the more people are out, the more society is becoming aware of it and used to it, so it brings down all those risks you just mentioned.
Right.
Also.
Right, and then in turn, the more that our allies help us and make the world a safe place for us to come out, the more that we can work together to not only bring that awareness, but to make things safer, to change minds, to change laws. I think it's important for us to come out as LGBTQIA people, and I think it's even more so important that when we do that, our allies stand up for us and stand with us and help us face any consequences that might come from that to make everything truly safer.
You just mentioned two dimensions of truth.
Yes.
In addition to that, and one is noetic dimension of truth, where it's simply you put out what is true so that everyone can know it, and hopefully it will have then that other dimension, which is normally called political dimension of truth, which is then liberating not only yourself individually, but has that liberating power outside to
Yeah.
those all others who are imprisoned either by prejudices or different ideologies, by their fear of their families or all those consequences. That's just marvelous.
And I think it is especially important for our allies to be in solidarity with us, particularly with all the things that are going on today. We have our transgender troops who they're trying to prevent from joining the military, and the ones who are there, they want to get out of the military. We have the new quote-unquote license to discriminate that somehow somehow pits LGBT people against religious people, even though why? First of all, there are LGBT religious people, so where's our religious freedom? And second of all, why does your religion give you the right to discriminate against anybody for who they are? And like these things are, some of them they went away and they're coming back. Some of them were already around and they're getting stronger. And so to have allies stand up and say that, no, this is not right, this is unacceptable, and we will fight this is, I think, just as important. It's your way of coming out for justice
right,
and equality.
And against what I would call prejudice or bigotry.
Yes.
Really, because that is what is in the end keeping people captives to lies. And I was really puzzled when Attorney General came with that idea that taking away that protection from LGBTQ people because of protecting some, what I could not understand, religious freedoms. What kind of religious freedoms there are? You know, it's concept which it beats me.
The general theory around coming out is that you never do it once. You're constantly coming out. You come out to yourself, you come out to your friends, your family. I think I came out to every person on my one train commute today with this t-shirt. That's always fun. And I had my coming out story for myself was tied a lot into the church and into my faith. I remember being 20 years old and thinking that I had done everything right according to the church. I had followed all the rules that they said I was supposed to follow. I was being as devout as possible. So God was going to do me a favor and not make my life any more difficult by also making me a queer person. And I was wrong. And thank goodness that I was, because I love being who I am and I love that this is how God made me. And I remember going through church and then going through the ordination process and feeling like I had something to hide and not really understanding why. Because it is my calling to go out and talk the truth about God and the truth about my own faith. And it was weird for me not to be able to do that as fully myself. I am a queer person. I'm a black person. I am a woman. I am a child of God. And to try and hide any of that doesn't make any sense. And so I am glad now that I have reached a point where I am able to get up and just live in freedom and just
And Reformation Sunday is coming up. And you just mentioned something which goes against the grain of Reformation when you said that you were doing everything right, and so you thought that God will do for you, you know, and that's exactly where Reformation came and said, you know, we are not deserving anything. We are given that freedom. You know, we are loved, not trying to earn divine love. And that's another dimension where the theology and coming out and all of this is coming together.
Yes.
So coming together to come out.
I like that.
Let us now celebrate today and invite others to this celebration.
Yes. To all of you out there, happy coming out day. If you feel safe coming out, I hope that you're able to do that. And if you don't, we're gonna work for a world to make sure that you can.
Amen to that.
Yay!